Some persons were so young that there was nothing else to do after passing the exam, so we had to do it again and again until we were old enough to go to college. We had a Murphy radio, and because we lived on a hill, Cashew, we played it loudly so that everybody in the area could hear. Froome estate chimes would come over, and we knew when it was 12 o'clock and we knew when it was 1 o'clock because Froome was chiming all the time, and that was our clock, although we were in Hanover. This is where Hanover would be. There are the lines, although the name is not written in it, but it's showing that St. Elizabeth was all the way there and came straight to Negril Point. Jamaica then, I think might be one of the oldest pubs of Jamaica that we have at the moment.
It was from her girlhood days that retired school teacher Nerris Hawthorne became involved in community activism and volunteerism in Hanover, the parish of her birth. Mrs. Hawthorne grew up in the Cashew community in the mountains of Hanover and has served on an extensive list of community and parish organizations, beginning as a girl with the Wolf Cub Pack, the Girl Scouts at Mount Hannah School, the Wesley Guild, and the Girl Guides, where she rose to the position of lieutenant. She migrated to the United Kingdom several decades ago and returned to her home parish in 1989. Since then, she has never ceased to contribute her time and effort to initiatives aimed at bettering Hanover, whether through her utterances or in her deeds. Mrs. Hawthorne is credited as being one of the key persons who spurred the revival of the Lucy Cross the Harbour event in 2001 after many years of dormancy. A former president of the Hanover Parish Development Committee and the Hanover Chamber of Commerce, the outspoken Mrs. Hawthorne was one of the persons who spoke out against and successfully prevented the downgrading of the Noel Holmes Hospital in 2003.
My love for the parish dates back to my early childhood. I lived abroad and I could have stayed abroad and enjoy a good life. But in my retirement, I thought, I have got to come home and do something for my parish. It's very, very beautiful. Almost anywhere you go in Hanover, you can look back and see the sea. Even in the most remote areas of Hanover, you still look over and there is the sea in front of you. Warmth, the breeze, the food. Hanover used to have more yam than Trelawney, and because the farmers did not get the help they needed, the land is sloping a lot, they've sold out the yam heads to Trelawney, and so we've lost the number one for yam, but we still have some farmers who are doing their bit. The food is good. We have springs, we have quite a number of springs, and a lot of us who are old but still looking not too old, it's because of the spring water. So almost anywhere you go, you can still have a spring that's giving you the refreshing water. So I would say the food, the people, they are very friendly. We have some young people coming now from other areas coming into our parish and spoiling the name of this parish. We don't need crime. We don't want crime. We want our youngsters to live lovingly towards each other. We want to bring back some of that old-fashioned spirit of love and care. it has changed considerably, and I would like to see us capture some of that old-fashioned Hanover spirit, where there was this love, this warmth towards each other, where families cared about each other, where we share things. Many persons who come here just for a visit do not want to leave. They want to find a piece of land to build a house. And so we find a number of returning residents coming into Hanover, especially in the Lucy area, in the Hopewell area, and they are really enjoying their life at the moment. I, for one, am so happy where I am. It's like paradise. I'm looking at the sea all the time. I'm having the breeze. I have the sunrise. I have the sunset. What more could one want? I have the fruits, coconuts. I have a number of fruit trees I give away. That's another thing. We share. We give to each other. Anything, it hasn't got to be in surplus. We just share. We love each other. It's a very loving parish. And I'm inviting anybody out there who is looking for a place to relax, a place to come home to, a different atmosphere. Come to Hanover and you will be happy here. We will greet you with open arms. I have been very fortunate in that persons have had some confidence in me and my ability to lead, and so I became president of the Chamber of Commerce, and at that time we revived the Cross the Harbour race, which went very well for a few years. Unfortunately, that's not happening anymore, but should be revived. I thoroughly enjoyed those years. I went on to form the Lucy Development Initiative, and through that hopefully we will develop the Fort Charlotte. I have tried to bring in some other activities for the youngsters, like the Euro Theatre Company, and although we've had some problems with the passing of one of our main leaders, receivers, number of young people all over have enjoyed those years of the theatre company. And we then did the music academy with Mr. Holding. That went very well also. We had a marching band which didn't quite get on the road, but I have seen where activities like these are needed, and I'm hoping that I'm not able to do these anymore, but that there are others out there who will bring back some of the activities for the young people that are so well needed. I grew up in a small district called Cashew, and I'm writing something about Cashew at the moment. I say Cashew has life, Cashew has love, Cashew has everything that a human being could want. People friendly. The young people, they do not get into trouble. I went to Montana School, and to me that's like a university, because we did not have a high school that we could go to, as Rossi's was a paying school. And the students that came from Montana, that's Cashew, Donalva, Burnside, Woodsville, Pat Hill, all those people came to Montana School. And we have graduated hundreds into all walks of life, doctorates, nurses, teachers, professors from Montana School.
What was life like growing up in Cashew?
Yes.
What kind of games you played, and you went to the river and so?
Oh my goodness. And we went to the river even in the night to catch crayfish. And when we get back, we would make a big fire and cook and sing and dance and play in the moonlight. We had a big yard. My parents had a big yard, and everybody came to our yard and played. And ring games was the thing of the time. The young men played their rocus tables and dominoes and cook and eat. And to me, we played cricket, and the girls played cricket. On the holidays, we had a ridge called Buxton Ridge, where all the big biz, my mother's family grew up, and there would be a band, a live band play, and we call it a picnic, and everybody go to picnic during the holidays, dance. We were not short of entertainment. We made entertainment. It's a different time from now. We had Murphy radio, and because we lived on a hill, Cashew, we played it loudly so that everybody in the area could hear. So everybody hear the music, everybody knew what was happening. And our main timepiece was the Froome Estate chimes would come over, and we knew when it was 12 o'clock and we knew when it was 1 o'clock because Froome was chiming all the time, and that was our clock, although we were in Hanover. And walking was a thing of the time. Every Sunday afternoon we would go for walks, and we would walk from the Cashew to Lucy, which is 9 miles, and back, but we have to get back before the sun goes over the hill, or else we would get a beating. I mean, that was the order of the day. You have to get back on time because we had parents who were very, very strict, we call it. But I think being strict was okay. I got a scholarship to Bethlehem Teachers Training College based on some high intelligence, they said. So I graduated after 3 years from Bethlehem Teachers Training College. And I taught in St. Elizabeth and then in St. James at Bickerstead. I was fortunate also to get a secondment to England to study physical education at Chelsea College of Physical Education in England. Came back and taught at York Castle High School in Brownstown before I migrated. I'm very, very grateful that I have been able to be educated without us having the problem of finance. I was fortunate. And I must say we took the first, second and third Jamaica local examinations in order to get into teacher training college. And from my school, Montana, we were having first in the island, third in the island, second in the island, and taking the same examination 2 and 3 times because some persons were so young that there was nothing else to do after passing the exam, so we had to do it again and again until we were old enough to go to college. That was how it was in my time. It was a long time ago, actually. I'm a very strong swimmer, yes. I love swimming, and I took all the different examinations. I'm a lifesaver, and when I go down to Bulls Bay Beach, anyone there who can't swim, I usually notice them and volunteer. I am a swimming volunteer on the beach because whether it is a child or an adult and they can't swim, I go and help them, and I will always do. I migrated to England and I started teaching in high school. Again, I was fortunate. I got a secondment to study mathematics because I have always liked teaching maths, and they were very short of maths teachers there. So I was seconded to Christ Church College, Canterbury, where I studied mathematics and taught that. Something that I haven't said is in my upbringing, church and religion played a very important part, because church and school were like operated like one in Montana, Cashew, where I grew up. And so I had a strong belief that whatever was happening in my life was something ordained, planned, and that I would always be okay. Yes, I have received many awards and recognition for the work that I have done from Hanover Charities, from JCDC, from the Parish Council, from SDC. I have received the Prime Minister's Award for Outstanding Service to Education. I suppose the work I did at the High School as well has been well recognized. Overall, I have seen poverty, I have seen wealth, and sometimes when I'm abroad and I'm enjoying myself, I'm thinking and pinching myself, is it little Nerris Hawthorne? There are times when there have been weeks and months when I've only done nothing but sit at a swimming pool side and drink red wine. I've been on safari on my own, taken around on my own in Africa. I've seen the wonders of Egypt, been to the pyramids and to Luxor, Valley of the Kings and Queens, ride camel in the desert with my sister. Things you dream about and read about and study when you were young. I never knew that you would do them yourself. Where did I get the time to travel so much? I love traveling, and I have been really, really fortunate. I had a friend in Zambia, and she invited me. I spent 3 months in Zambia. During that time, I went to Zimbabwe in Africa. I was even more fortunate in that I went to South Africa with the Julian Joseph Jazz Band sent by the British Council, and we've been going to different areas teaching music. Well, I didn't do any teaching. I watched, but they did the teaching. I was chaperone. Yeah. So they've been to university, and during that time in South Africa, I've been to Johannesburg, to Durban, Cape Town. I went up on Drakensberg Mountain, or name it. I lived in Kent, and Kent is coastal and is very near to the continent. So I have visited almost every country in Europe more than once. I've been to Paris, I've climbed the Eiffel Tower, I have been to the Czech Republic, all the big cities. I've
been to Russia?
No, I didn't go to Russia. Okay. No, I didn't go to Russia. I once thought I can't sail around the world, but one thing I could do is I could fly. And so I bought a book, Around the World by Air. And I went around the world by air. I went to Singapore. I have a friend in Singapore who used to live at my house, and I went to her wedding. And then I went to Japan, and from Japan I crossed over and went to Los Angeles. I've been in some very nice hotels, I can tell you. And from LA, I crossed and I went to Boston, Massachusetts, because my son was studying music in Boston, Massachusetts. And from there I went down to New York and to Miami and to Jamaica, and then back to England. And as you can well imagine, I did have some problems at the airport with them wondering how could this little black woman manage to go around so many places. Where did she get the money? But it was all good. I'm not a student of English. I'm a student of maths and physical education. But I grew up learning poems. At school we had to learn a lot of poems, and so that rhythm has always been there, and so it led me to write a few little poems. And after doing that and reading some of them, I was further encouraged to publish that. So I have published a small volume called Jamaica with Me, and in it I write mostly about Jamaica, things Jamaican, what I love, a little bit of cricket, because I love cricket, and a little bit about rain in the night, about the children that I work with. I would like to think of myself, or people to think of me, as someone who's caring and giving and serving. I have not mentioned anything about the Rotary Club. There's so much to talk, isn't it? I was the president of the Rotary Club of Lucy for 2 years, and I came into Rotary in my older years, or probably could have done more, but Rotary is service above self, and I think that would aptly describe me as a person. There are hundreds of persons that I have touched their lives in one way or the other, and many whom I have assisted in one way or the other so that their life can be better. I have mentored youngsters. Last one has just gone to St. Joseph's Teachers Training College. I would like one to think of me as one who entertains. I love entertaining, sharing my home, sharing everything that I have. People come and they spend time here, and they go back, they've enjoyed themselves. We've had some weddings. Yeah. My friends are worldwide. I have friends all over, from Sweden, Germany, Singapore, different parts of America, and my family too. I have quite a lot of family overseas, in Spain. I have friends that come and always look forward to come. I thought that job was mine, and I did not get it. And when I left, I was very angry with God. And I started talking to God and said, you know that job was mine and you did not let me get it, so what is it you have in store for me? And believe it or not, 2 weeks after that, I was going to school and my car broke down. It couldn't start. I had to call a taxi. And when that taxi lady came, she was someone who worked in a school for deprived children. And she asked me if I would like to go and run the school for them. Although I didn't know much about social care, I volunteered to go and see them. And when I went and I saw a lot of black girls, I thought, goodness, they surely need someone like me. I took the post and I did that for 6 months. And as I had a building that was suitable for doing the same thing, and so I thought, why not do one myself? And my sister, Nerris Hawthorne, who is a trained social worker, set up a facility for children in care of local authorities. And for 20 years, we looked after children in care who were problematic, had problems, aged from 11 to 20 years old. I have about 200 children who call me mom, and they are from all over England, other parts of the world, black, white, mixed race, everybody. They come there, they live there in my house. I've taken them to Jamaica on many trips. I've taken the teachers to Jamaica. I take them all around the island, and that helped to calm them down. So sometimes we spend 6 weeks here, going up and down Jamaica, enjoying the land and going back calmer people. It's something that I have thoroughly enjoyed. 20 years of that, and if one is wondering what it is that has kept Mrs. Nerris Hawthorne going, it must be the work that I have done and the fun I have had. I got up in the night time and take a child to Canterbury to the hospital because another child had broken a bottle on one's head, and it was in the snow and the ambulance would not go, and I had to do it myself, and I drove to Canterbury to the hospital and back safely. And I believe that it is my faith in God that He's guiding me all the time. And so when I asked Him what He had in store for me, it is because He wanted me to look after these children. And some of them have become wealthy, especially one boy who played Premier League football in England. We don't call names, but he has 2 children of his own now. I have been among a lot of wealthy people where they don't even think of poor people. And I'm watching them and thinking, oh dear, isn't that a shame? But on the way, I have learned that in this life is what you make of it. And even when you are enjoying all the wealth and the riches and the glory, that there are still so many people who are suffering, so many people who want. So I hope that what I say will be an inspiration to some people. You can start poor, and you can do it, and you can have dreams that can come true. Because when we were young and children, I was walking through the woods selling breadfruit, and there were times when we went to school barefooted, but we all did it. And it didn't matter, and it really doesn't matter.
Thank you.